Donald Trump acted too late. This too is negligence, and it's criminal. Hydroxychloroquine. It's an anti-malarial drug. India makes a lot of it. And suddenly the whole world wants it, including US President Donald Trump. Only he doesn't know how to ask properly. So he issues threats. Our cover story tonight is about a president who is disconnected with reality. A president who is failing miserably. A president who was in denial about this pandemic. Things became so bad that a Russian military plane landed in America with medical supplies made by a company that the US had sanctioned. Donald Trump is in no position to dictate terms, not at home, not abroad, certainly not to India. And yet he threatens retaliation if his quote-unquote request is not honored.
Are you worried about retaliation to your decision to ban export of medical goods, like Indian Prime Minister Modi's decision to not export hydroxychloroquine to the United States and other countries?
I don't like that decision. I didn't hear that was his decision. If he doesn't allow it to come out, that would be okay. But of course, there may be retaliation.
A retaliation, that is what the US president is threatening. First, a botched up response, and now such bluster. America has more than 370,000 cases of the coronavirus, the highest in the world. They're failing miserably at controlling the Wuhan virus, and now Donald Trump is looking for a fall guy. The president is blaming everybody but himself. Trump wants to show that he is in control. Unfortunately for him, not many believe this. Plus, the records do him no favor. It turns out that the Trump administration knew about the coronavirus threat. They were warned well in advance, as far back as January. They sat on the information. The New York Times carried a story today. It talks about a memo written by a top White House advisor. This memo warned the Trump administration of the threat of the Wuhan virus. And it said this very clearly. If the coronavirus outbreak is ignored, the United States could lose trillions of dollars. The memo said that the lives of millions of Americans are at risk. It was written by a man called Peter Navarro on the 29th of January, more than 2 months ago. He is Donald Trump's advisor on trade, but Trump is his own advisor. So Mr. Navarro's warning fell on deaf ears. About 2 weeks after he wrote this warning, Trump was asked about the Wuhan virus. How will America fight it?
You know, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat, as the heat comes in. Typically, that will go away in April. We're in great shape, though. We have 12 cases, 11 cases, and many of them are in good shape now.
Donald Trump acted too late. This too is negligence, and it's criminal. Americans should hold their president accountable. The warnings were there. The damage should have been contained, but Mr. Trump chose to believe a myth. Now his country is suffering. This crisis has exposed the US leadership, or the lack of it. Donald Trump downplayed the threat. His government did not prepare for the outbreak. Now they're running short of supplies. There is a dangerous shortage of masks in America. In some areas, volunteers are now pitching in. They're making masks at home for the medical workers on the front lines. Critical medication is in short supply, and this includes antibiotics, antivirals, sedatives, the drugs that are used to treat coronavirus patients. Trump is facing a backlash, and what is he doing in response? He's bullying allies, demanding supplies, else there will be retaliation, he says. As for this medicine, hydroxychloroquine, here's the thing. Trump is betting big on it. It is being called the miracle drug, but it is not a proven cure. Scientists will not vouch for it. There is no proven cure for the Wuhan coronavirus. It's all trial and error right now. Hydroxychloroquine has been given to some patients around the world. They've shown positive signs, but doctors are not widely prescribing it because the evidence is limited. Trump's own advisor on this, America's top doctor and researcher on infectious diseases, Anthony Fauci, has called the evidence, quote-unquote, anecdotal. But the president will have none of it. He wants to be seen as finally doing something. So he's buying 100,000 body bags, and he's insisting on a medicine that may or may not work. And this alone should explain why America is in such a mess.
India does very well with the United States. For many years, they've been taking advantage of the United States on trade. If he doesn't allow it to come out, that would be okay. But of course, there may be retaliation.